Okay, so this is my second video, which is a reflection on my educational video that you watched moments ago. So I chose to make my video with my 5.5-year-old son. I enjoyed the process. I thought it was a lot of fun, and my son liked it too. In fact, he wants to make more videos in the future. So I did some research when I was trying to decide what I wanted the video to be about. And I landed on obesity as the reason for wanting to focus on exercise. I read a few different articles and I found one that I really liked. It was an article in a journal called Metabolism, and it was titled Childhood Obesity, Increased Risk for Cardiometabolic Disease and Cancer in Adulthood. It was written in March of 2019 by Susan Weihrauch-Blüher, Peter Schwarz, and Jan Henning Klusmann. And in it, they discuss how childhood obesity has doubled in many countries since 1980. It is this obesity that leads to greatly increased morbidity and mortality due to cardiometabolic disease later in adulthood. There's evidence suggesting that the higher the BMI during adolescence, the greater the risk of developing cancer later in life, specifically leukemia, Hodgkin's lymphoma, colorectal, and breast cancers. So in order to be proactive, it's crucial to ensure that a child's weight, or BMI, is within healthy ranges before the onset of puberty. Right, so we want to establish healthy habits and activity levels before adolescence. And that's because once the adolescent period is reached, a child that's already obese is at a great risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and then in adulthood later those cancers that I mentioned. So after learning all of that, it only reinforced what I had already intuited about childhood obesity. And I know that it is a major cause of illness and that it can lead to cardiometabolic changes. And I wanted to contribute to a solution to that problem and make a video about this with my son. So again, my son is a 5.5-year-old boy. He's developing his gross and fine motor skills and is learning balance and coordination. So teaching him about exercise at this age is physiologically appropriate. According to Erickson, he is transitioning out of the initiative versus guilt phase because he's 5.5, almost 6. And he's moving into the industry versus inferiority stage. So this is a time for him to build his self-confidence, sense of pride and accomplishment, and maybe even a sense of purpose. Psychologically, he's ready to learn about cause and effect and how he can choose to adopt a good habit that is good for him and get immediate results that make him feel good. These concepts prepare him to take initiative and set goals, which, when achieved, will build his self-esteem and maybe even a sense of curiosity at his own ability to work towards success in the future. Therefore, exercise is psychologically and socially an appropriate topic for his age. According to Piaget, he's in the pre-operational stage of development. He can't reason beyond what's observable to his senses in real time. So I knew if I was going to teach him about cause and effect of exercise, I'd have to demonstrate before and after effects to his senses somehow. And after thinking about it, I realized a stethoscope was a good solution to that. So we introduced the stethoscope into the video for that reason. And since I was able to do that, that made this film and this topic cognitively appropriate for his age group and developmental stage. So once I had the main idea and I knew what tools I would need, it was just a matter of making a prop, which you can see in the video that I referenced, and had some very easy to discern pictures on there with some very short 1 or 2 syllable words that my son could even read at 5.5 years old. So once I made that and I wrote a script, All I had to do was just convince my son not to be shy of the camera, and that actually took longer than it took to film the video. But once I started filming, he joined in and it was a lot of fun. So I think it's beneficial for kids that are around 5 years old to watch this short video and to learn what exercise is, how to do it, how it affects the body, and why it's important. Kids today, they spend a lot of time in front of screens being sedentary. And if they knew that exercise was more than just going outside and getting tired, and that it's also about changing our bodies, and it's a way to make us feel good, then maybe they would see how cool it is and they would choose to do it. And they would do it with awareness and be conscious of their choice, which is good for future development.